what we have.
Cheryl,
I
could
feel
you
like
take a roll,
usually it's
please?
just kind of scrolling through like while I'm talking.
Okay.
Commissioner
You don't need to
Aspinall?
have-
Here. Brickner?
Here.
Conigan?
Here.
Brandt?
Here.
Stimson?
Here.
And Chair Treflet.
Here.
Read it. So
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well then, I'll just,
I got a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
usually just
Dale.
Moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
like change through the slides while I
agenda's
was
approved.
talking, kind of.
okay, well, I'll do that from up there.
You're up. I assume you're here for the Kajan child, yes, since there's no one else here.
Yeah, it is. The parking lot scared me a little bit when I pulled in. It was empty. I was like, oh, I hope it didn't get canceled. So thank you for being here.
It's all you.
All right, so I can introduce the project a little bit. I was here in November. My name's Chris Kajoyan with the Kajoyan Companies, based out of Bloomfield Hills. So we got the site plan approved. We have gone into the engineering department for that review. And during that review, a couple of things have shifted, mostly that you don't see on the site, such as stormwater detention, things like that, which has caused a couple of other changes. And we've gone back and taken a look at the comments that we got in the previous review, and decided to come to you tonight seeking a waiver for the sidewalk. So the plan is almost identical to what was shown before, and I don't know if I do have control. Wow, okay. Normally I don't. So this is a good depiction here. So what you'll see here is just the general site plan. What has changed is the dumpster location was previously located in the front yard, which was not compliant, which we were able to rework that, added a little bit of a retaining wall because we do have some wetland issues on this site. So that luckily has been resolved. Previously in the comments it noted that there was no pedestrian connectivity on the site, which we did not include a sidewalk. And so a little bit of background. We developed a roughly 140-acre park there where there's, I think, 9 or so existing buildings. There's zero sidewalk in the entire park. It was never intended to be, to have sidewalks connecting the buildings for whatever reason. So none of the other developments, whether they've already been built or the one next door that's planned to be built, have that connectivity. So we did not include it in this. We understand the intent. This one's closer to 12 Mile. So what we did here, you'll see, I don't have a pointer, but in the kind of northwest corner, you'll see there's a small section of sidewalk that actually connects the site up to 12 Mile and connects to that sidewalk. So there is now the ability for pedestrians to get to our site. We do not need it. Our tenant, the Learning Experience, provided a letter as well, stating that they don't have foot traffic. It's parents generally dropping their kids off on their way to work or coming back from work. So in a vehicle, there's not residential adjacent to us where someone would necessarily be walking their child to daycare, especially at that age group. They're under 6 years old. So I'm here tonight just to seek that waiver so we can put in this kind of more practical stretch of sidewalk rather than the entirety of the frontage of the site, which would not lead to anything because there is no sidewalk on the other side of that. And it ultimately leads to our regional detention pond and kind of the woods that are there. So that's, I think, kind of the bigger issue. I can answer any questions on that if there are any. And there was a note about some trees. So I'm happy to address that as well.
Where is your retention?
So we have a regional detention pond that's just almost along 696. So it services a number of those buildings in the area, just right next to Comerica's headquarters there.
Yeah.
It's a pretty large pond between JST and Comerica. So this site was actually designed to be able to feed into that detention pond. The engineering department did not want us to bore a pipe under the regulated wetland, which it is permitted, it's practical, but we understand it. So we're not going to do that. We're actually putting in underground, which has a 6-figure price tag to it. It's not a fun thing for us to have to put in on a project like this, but it's going to go into the parking lot. You can actually see it shaded there. So the site will contain its detention until it's able to drain out appropriately. So as far as the trees are concerned, if you see on the plan, there's the darker shaded area surrounding the building and the parking lot. That is what I would refer to as the area of disturbance. That's actually the site that we're working with. Everything outside of that, where it's kind of a little bit more open and it's just some gray dots, that is a regulated wetland. So you'll see we have kind of a lot of retaining walls along the east side of the building that are going to help us not disturb that, not go into that wetland at all. And so that really skinnies up our site from what looks like a much larger site. So the number of trees was reduced from our initial submittal now that we're into engineering, but the site is more than appropriately landscaped. If you look at the plan, there's no gaps. There's nowhere else to say, put a tree right there. Again, the stuff you see kind of along the bottom edge of that drawing is all wetland. So we did come back and ask for replacing 12 less trees than our last plan. But again, I truly believe that the site is more than adequately landscaped. And the difference there would be paid into the tree fund as the ordinance allows for.
Okay, anything else?
I think that's all from me.
Julia?
Yeah, so, as mentioned, this is simply an amendment to an existing plan that you guys have already seen. It is a minor change to a portion of a PUD, and also the change to the sidewalk would bring this back to the Planning Commission because that is something that you had conditioned in the previous review. The main changes to the plans are listed on the second page of the memo that we provided, including, as he mentioned, the relocation of the dumpster enclosure. We would want to see the truck turning template to ensure that that location is accessible by a garbage vehicle. There was a small change in the number of parking spaces to accommodate that dumpster enclosure from 42 to 40 spaces, which is still compliant. As he noted, they did make some changes to the retaining wall design to help preserve the wetlands. And the adjustments to landscaping, as he mentioned, they have increased the reduction in trees, but are looking to provide additional into the tree fund. Also, the original development agreement from decades ago did say that they are allowed to have a 33% discount on tree replacements required, so that the amount that would go into the fund would be minus that 33% as well, which we included in this review letter. And finally, consideration of the elimination of the sidewalk would fall upon the Planning Commission, but it is, I believe, required along a frontage. So happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Did forget one point just in the parking lot, if I may. So you'll see we did lose the 2 parking spaces, as mentioned. The reason we lost those, they're restriped, so they do physically still exist, but we blocked them off to make sure that those trucks could turn around there. And we'll get the template to engineering through the process to show that those trucks can turn around.
That work for you?
For me?
Works for you?
Yeah, we always like to see sidewalk connectivity, but we can't require it, so
Okay.
that would be your call.
John, any questions? Barry?
Oh, Barry, yes, of course.
Do we know what's going, and there's supposed to have been rather 2 large buildings going next door. Are they going to do that eventually, or is just, blowing smoke like it happened in the past?
I could speak to that. So each building in the park that's been developed, which we've built, I think all but one, they've all taken their time to land a headquarter user or a tenant for those buildings. Just as we did for Comerica, those buildings were empty for 2-3 years. We're committed to being here. We paid on those empty buildings for years, moved Comerica in, expanded those buildings. I am a little relieved now that in the last couple months we have had those conversations pick back up with some users. It's not to say we're signing a lease next week, but people are very interested in being in Farmington Hills, especially in this location where the access is amazing, the school system's employee, everything is great. So
Tell that to Mercedes-Benz.
yes, I mean, they left our building and left us with 2 empty buildings for 3 years, so I feel the pain. So we're committed to building those buildings next door. Once we land a tenant for those, we don't spec any office space. We want to make sure there's someone that's going to be in there and be in there for a long time.
Okay, so you haven't abandoned that one?
No, we have not. And in fact, we actually paid almost $500,000 for construction plans, so we're ready to submit for a permit the second someone signs a lease.
Okay, because it's been rather, anything that gets built over there has been rather quiet in a while.
I would love to see something get started there. We're still working on the JST project right next door. That's coming along really well and should be wrapping up, here in the near future. But we'd love to finish off. That's the last piece of the puzzle for the park.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah. No, if you know anyone that's looking for space, let me know.
Any other questions?
I can make a comment.
Okay.
I think the waiver for the sidewalk makes sense, you know, like I often use that investment drive as a cut through. And so I know it's like not really a walkable place, and that's not the place we want kids to be walking. So it kind of makes sense to me that let's not even put something there to promote it, so.
Yeah.
You happen to know Investment Drive, how it drops down to the water level in the drain?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know that our site, it drops down, don't hold me to it, 3-4 feet. So there is a decent amount of site work that has to take place to raise our site up outside of that wetland area. So there is a drop between the actual road and the grade along the road.
You're building block retaining walls or what?
I'm not an engineer, so I don't want to speak to the material, but I believe I'm assuming it's going to be a poured concrete or a block retaining wall or a combination of both. I know that the dumpster enclosure is a concrete cement retaining wall.
You don't know what the capacity is for number of children that can be there?
Yeah, so it's up to 160 or 158 to be exact. And there are staggered times throughout the day. They have a whole system. They have, I think, almost 500 locations now. And there's 22 staff members in there full-time. But they do certain programs where it's from 6 months of age up to 6 years. So some 6-month-year-olds may be there for 2 hours of the day, where others may be there all day. And it is education. It's not just, a daycare center to drop your kid off to.
Barry?
These guys are located in Deerfield Beach, Florida?
Correct.
You don't know exactly where, I
I don't. So my colleague, Tony
spend a
Antone.
month in Deerfield Beach every year, so.
Okay. So they have a headquarter there, and they actually have one of these facilities attached to their headquarter office. So our team went down to meet with them and toured the facility, how they operate. So they have a great system in place where they go around and make sure that, because they're franchised locations, but this one does have that corporate backing where they're going to make sure that,
It's on Hillsborough or Hillsborough?
I
It's on Hillsborough
couldn't tell
Drive?
you off the top of my head.
Yeah, okay. I'll look them up on a map.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Do you know about the time frame they plan to be completed, this daycare?
We're very eager to get a shovel in the ground. My hope is if things go well this evening, we can finish up in the next few weeks to a month with the engineering process to get our permits. And then I would be starting construction as soon as possible. In fact, the next step after today would be submitting that tree permit so we could go in and do the site prep. So you would see before football season, you would see activity on that site. I heard everyone talking about football before when I
Funny,
came in,
it's
so,
it's just a funny date on the calendar, right?
yeah.
What's coming up? What's coming up, right?
Anyone else have a question?
Barry does.
Cool.
Make a motion?
Sure.
Does she have a question? Move it along.
Anything else staff wants to introduce before? No? Okay.
I move that the revised application for site plan review 60-10-2024 dated June 5th, 2025, submitted by Farmington Hills, that'd be 4, corporate investors, no, it'd be 6, I'm sorry, corporate investors LLC, Cunningham Limp, be approved because it appears to meet all applicable requirements of the zoning chapter subject to the following conditions. All outstanding issues identified in Giffords-Webster's June 20th, 2025 review shall be addressed to the reasonable satisfaction of the city planner. All outstanding issues identified in the city engineer's November 12th, 2024 inter-office correspondence shall be addressed to the reasonable satisfaction of the city engineer. And all outstanding issues identified by the fire marshal's July 15th, 2025 inter-office correspondence shall be addressed to the reasonable satisfaction of the fire marshal. The specific conditions that there be a waiver of required sidewalk along Investment Drive and the approved the reduction in number of replacement trees provided from 87 to 75. Applicants shall provide money into the public tree fund for deficient trees. 115 replacement trees required minus 70 replacement trees provided equals 40 trees deficient.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. There's that.
All right, well, thank you all for your time. I know it was a light agenda, so thank you for keeping the meeting on. We appreciate it. And you will see us starting very soon. We're very
We
excited.
got other real important things going on right after this. Don't worry about it.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Or almost important things.
I think, Cheryl, I think you said 70 trees was actually 75.
Well, it said, well, it should have said 75.
75, just make note, 75.
It said 70?
Yeah.
I'm not going to call these conditions, I'm going to call them findings in the motion. So just to let you know.
Whatever it said on the piece of paper I was reading.
Better.
I apologize.
No worries.
This is in 390 pages.
That is our agenda for Monday.
I know, it's 390 pages.
Diane, are you leading the way on this next one?
Yes, I can. So the city planner memo from Eric Paradonic dated July 10th, 2025 explains the minor amendments to the bylaws and rules and procedures of the Planning Commission. And as is explained in the memo, right now, our bylaws specify that the Planning Commission meets 3 times a month, and that would be the second, third, and fourth Thursday of each month. That has not been a practice that we have undertaken for a number of years now. We're generally only meeting on the third Thursday of the month. And we have had, because it's still in the bylaws, we've had to continuously cancel those second and fourth meetings of the month. So we're recommending the bylaws be amended to only include that third Thursday of the month, and that's on the, let's see, the second page of the bylaws is outlined there. And the reason why we can always call a special meeting, that's still in the bylaws if necessary, but it's created a lot of confusion with other city departments as to why we keep canceling meetings every month, as well as developers who think they can specify which of those 3 meetings a month they might be able to be placed on the agenda.
Bennett?
Yes.
Okay. Barry?
Geez, I remember when we used to have 2 meetings a month. I think that was in the 3? Did we have 3?
Back in the day, yes.
Well, you were the head of the plan.
John was chair. John was chair, in the late 80s. We had 3.
Well, I was only there in the mid-90s.
Right.
We used to have 2 at least.
Yeah, we had,
I had the pleasure of signing the fact that Little Caesars was going to build their headquarters at 12 and Drake.
You mean where Mercedes-Benz is, or is going to be a was?
I don't want to say it's a cursed corner, but, you know.
Or it doesn't own the other guy. I mean, I don't mind this because we've only been having single meetings. You know, I think that we should put a reservation and maybe put it in number 3, that the special meeting be on like the second Thursday of the month.
Versus ahead of the regular meeting? Versus ahead of the regular meeting?
No. The regular meetings are going to be on the 3rd Thursday of the month. And if it doesn't call for any specific day in number 3 for special meetings. That they didn't amend that, so maybe we should be taking one of those Thursdays and reserving it in the special meetings category, because we normally have them on Thursdays, because they have scheduling problems with other departments other commissions that use this facility. So maybe, I'm just suggesting, maybe if we're going to allow for a special meetings, that we reserve one of those Tuesdays for that purpose, so that they won't book the room for something else.
I mean, with the CIP, don't we usually have the second meeting that's a matter, like the end last Thursday of the month? In January? So it would be in keeping with that, kind of a special meeting, the CIP. When we have a regular meeting, then we have the CIP meeting.
No, but that's what I was saying, is that You know, as far as number one is concerned, the amendments are fine, but I thought I'm thinking that we should reserve another Tuesday or Thursday for a special meeting.
Okay, you were saying Tuesdays.
No, did I say Tuesday before?
Yeah,
I need more sleep.
we all do.
I'm sorry. No, what I really meant to say is that we have we keep the third Thursday
Right.
for our regular meetings, and if we need a special meeting that we reserve, we can put in number 3, that it would be scheduled on either the first, second, or fourth Thursday. Because we're getting rid of what are allegedly 2 meetings that, and again, I remember back in the 90s, we would have at least 2 meetings a month.
Yeah, we did regularly in the
Right.
80s until I left. That was 9 years, so.
Right, so I'm just suggesting that since we're getting rid of 2 Thursdays, maybe we should mention one of the Thursdays that we're getting rid of, and number 3 is the day for doing special meetings. Because we don't just necessarily throw them on a Monday or Friday or whatever, we always use.
Hold on a second. Diane, do you have any idea how many more ordinances have to be completed?
How many,
Like, we're changing ordinances all the time. And Giffords Webster comes in and they talk, Julia talk, or, I mean, those are going relatively slow, I think.
yes.
But I know that there's a tremendous amount of work in your office. But, yeah, if we had a second meeting, we might be able to get some more done quicker. Did you have something, Mr. Schultz?
I was just gonna say, number one is mostly aimed at the formal calendar that, gets printed and everybody sees. Obviously, once you decide to have a meeting, your meeting gets put on the website, which is where most people actually go to see a meeting. So to Barry's point, and John, I think you just said it, you can just add a sentence after the first sentence in number 3, where it talks about a special meeting can be called by the chair or by the members, as long as you give 48 hours notice. You could add a sentence that said, to the extent possible, such special meetings should be held on either the second or fourth Thursday of the month. Because I don't think they're gonna want you to reserve a Thursday if you're not actually gonna. But it is some notice to people that Thursdays are your night.
Is it better for us to specify just one alternative date
It just says either.
for staff or whatever? Does it create confusion? Right, it could be either the second or fourth. We meet regularly on the third. I guess you could say the first, second, or fourth.
I would envision it'd be the same thing that you usually do. Every several months, you say, we're gonna do an extra meeting. When are people available, right?
Right.
So you kind of need,
A little flexibility. That doesn't cause staff a problem. We said second or fourth. That's a question.
I'm not sure about the 4th Thursday of the month because I don't know if there's another committee who has this room reserved. That's my only,
There
I'd have to
probably
check.
isn't, since we blocked out all 4 Thursdays, didn't we?
No, I think we only
I think
block
that's
out
why
3.
you have to the
Usually you're-
extent possible.
yeah.
It's first, second, and third, not the fourth.
That is your
Yeah,
other
look on
one.
the-
We rarely do the first Thursday.
I mean, some months might not even have a fourth Thursday, so.
Fair enough.
But I'm making a suggestion that for that special meeting, that we preserve one of the other Thursdays for that particular purpose. And so that people will know that if we do a special meeting, it will be on that Thursday. That way we're not, that way we're at least reserving the room. People know that they shouldn't be booking this room on a Thursday.
Do we now have special meetings on the same third?
We haven't had a special meeting in a long time.
You've never had a meeting on a first Thursday.
No, never. You're right, never.
Never. And I would say, I would go along with Tom's suggestion, either the second or fourth as an option, as a fallback, gives a couple dates for us for flexibility. I think that's probably a good way. Drop the first Thursday, because we don't ever meet on Thursday. First Thursday, or Tuesday.
I missed the 5 before, and I missed the 2 days, geez.
You're doing fine, Harry.
I'm getting old, what can I say?
We're all getting older. That's the objective.
Can I make a motion?
Sure.
Good?
Yep, I'm good.
I move to recommend, I'm doing this one, right? Yeah. I move to recommend to City Council that draft amended Planning Commission bylaws and rules of procedure, resolution number RPC 1-25 be approved, citing in Article 2, Item 3, after the first sentence, we add something to the extent possible on the second or fourth Thursday of the month.
Is there support?
Support.
Who to support it? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay,
I might note that the bylaws require 2/3 of the commission to vote for it, so you need 6 votes for it to pass.
3,
You got 6.
5,
2/3 present or 2/3 of the whole?
No, 2/3, it doesn't say of present, it's 2/3 of the whole. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good catch.
So you have 6 votes, that's 2/3. That means it can pass.
Yes, okay, good,
I have a question.
of course.
Nothing to do with what we're voting for, but as I was reading these, it talks about the order of business and how the meeting should go and the roll call. What I don't see is, it says unfinished business, new business, but I don't never see it on the agenda that changed in the past.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I'm trying to remember, Dale, do you remember?
Okay,
Yeah,
It did change?
No, I mean, we've had unfinished new business on there for forever, that I recall. And it's because a lot of stuff because we had so much activity, stuff would carry over. And we left those categories there to give us flexibility in case we wanted to list it that way on the agenda. I know in recent time, we've been able to kind of keep up with the business and dispose of it and get a fresh agenda for the next subsequent meetings.
But there were times.
Okay.
I think it gives us a flexibility. I would leave it in the bylaws, just to have that flexibility if we did, get a lot of business and we had things that were carryover items we could list. Just my suggestion. I don't know what staff would suggest.
Okay, next item on the agenda.
John?
Sorry?
I just wanted to point out that the study session minutes are always labeled special meeting minutes also, then that comes from the clerk's office, because I remember we used to label them study session minutes, and then they said, well, there's no study session in the bylaws, so we're going to start labeling them special meeting minutes. So I don't know if that's confusing or not, but there you have it.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from June 19th, regular and special meetings.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Okay. Public comments, seeing no one in the audience. So by that, commissioner comments. Yes, of course.
I want to make a point out to staff. There is a sign on Drake Road. You're familiar with this one. And it's covered up. And when you took the cover off, it says Drake Road is closed because they're working on the 696 bridge. Or it just says Drake Road is closed. Well, I don't think they're doing any more work on 696 over Drake Road. So, it's not a city sign. It's a
MDOT? MDOT?
MDOT. Can someone tell them to take their stupid sign down because it's covered up, it doesn't look good, and it's in front of my subdivision?
Yeah, I can put that in. They take some time to take the signs down. That's something that we've had to deal with a lot, but that's probably why it's covered up.
Yeah, but it's been covered up for over a year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She said it takes a long time.
Last time I complained about telephone poles, they've been there for like a year and a half before we said, why you got telephone poles? They're laying down on the ground and they picked them up and moved them. So I figure if you don't ask, you don't get.
That's true. True. Anyone else have comments? Okay,
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Oh, there, I just have just two comments, if I could, on staff.
We were gonna
So,
break a record, but okay.
I'm sorry.
We
Or-
blew the record.
Before adjournment, so in the materials that were on your desk, there's a notice from the city of Southfield just giving the adjacent communities notice that they're updating their master plan. So that's, if anyone needs information that's on that sheet they provided. And the other thing is, everyone has a green packet in front of them. That is from the clerk's office for the joint city commission, planning commission meeting next Monday. There is a very large, the Grand River Corridor Marketing Study that will be transmitted electronically. So that's not in the green folder because it's a few
390 pages.
inches thick, yeah. So we'll be sending that out to everyone's email address. And
That's
that
for
is
Monday, just-
all I have.
It's, we're at the Hawk Monday now, and we're not here.
Yes, at the Hawk. Thank
It's
you
at
for
5 o'clock, not 5:30.
Well, I think that's what they wanted, I think.
5 o'clock at the Hawk.
Right, because we were told 5:30.
They have the regular 7:30 meeting Monday as well?
The weeks.
I do not think so.
No, I don't think so either.
You don't think so? So they had an open night, so it may go beyond 7:30.
Oh. Of course, so it's a big question. Are they feeding us?
Is there a what?
Are we being fed?
I don't know the answer to that. That's Jerry's purview.
Thanks, Barry. That's the question that was in their mind.
We're going to have hawk on no.
I would imagine there's going to be food starting at that time.
That is a state secret now, so others don't know that there's food.
Note to
Oh,
Jerry.
that he won't show up to just come for the food besides us?
Yes.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it normal when surrounding cities are updating their master plan, that they give notice to other cities? Is there
Yeah,
a borderline, is there certain?
they do it when they put together the master plan.
How far out, like as far as
They do it before it's
distance?
approved.
No, how far, as
The
far as
adjacent.
distance?
The
Huh?
adjacent ones.
Just that touch Farmington, whatever touches.
Farmington,
Somebody mentioned Farmington
Novi,
Hills. Okay.
Southfield, and Livonia.
Livonia too, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
all right.
No one objected
So what?
to our master plan.
Oh, right, right.
It's already been adopted by the council.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to change.
Okay.
So I make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded. Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
You didn't show up. They wouldn't have.
I missed it by 1 minute. 1 minute, John.